Hi everyone. So first of all, my name is Abdul Rauf, and in this video we will talk about graphs. So what are the graphs? So basically, graph consists of nodes or verticals and edges connection. So these are connected to each other. The nodes are connected to each other through the nodes or through the edges. Okay. So now let's see some example of this. So here you can see an example where I am adding one, two, three, four. These are the nodes, and these are connected to each other with the arrows like these. These are known as the edges. So these are connected to each other. So main concept of a graph is to every value is connected to each other. So now you may have a question why we use graph and what is the importance of the graph. So basically, so far we study like the linked list, arrays, stack, queue, and trees. These all have some specific properties. So that's why we learned that. Like areas were very good in retrieving information and accessing fast information and using algorithm like bubble sort or binary search. Then we see that we have some shortage in arrays. Like if we do not have continuous memory, then we cannot get the then we do not create the array. So that's why we use linked list, because linked list we can use the pointer to spread all over the memory and get some dynamic storage or like that. So we can create a list dynamically, and then we do not have to worry about the continuous memory. But there was the fallback here to like now we cannot access the memory very fast, because the memory is all around the information is all around the memory. So it is very hard to get some information very quickly, and we cannot use the algorithm here too. So that's why we use the trees, because tree we can use the binary search and can get again and can get the information very fast. And then we also learn the stack and queue their own properties to, like I gave an example of email and line. Okay. So after that, now here we are the graph. Graph is very important for graphical networks, like when we want to create a visually appealing network, or we when we want to create a LAN network or WAN network. These are the internet networks. Or we can take a simple example of Google Maps, where they use graphs to connect all the roads and cities to each other. So the main concept of graph is like that. It is used to connect every value to each other. Okay. Now let's see some code of this. So I try to make it as similar to this the code, but still I get some bugs, and I try to solve this. So my code is not exactly like this, but it is like this. Okay. So but it's still all the numbers are connected to each other. So now let's see the code. So here you can see the main function I'm showing you, where you can see 1 3 1 4 and 2 3. These are the nodes that I'm adding to the edge. So the edge will be the contents that are connected. Okay. Now here you can see I'm using loop to print all the values in a table like format. And then here you can see the output, where you can see one is going to do 4 3 2, and 2 is going to do 4 3, and 3 is going to do the 4, and so on. 4 is going to the null. Okay. So now every value is connected to each other except 4, but 4 is still connected to the 3 in a specific. And now you may have a question like, it is very complex, huh? So now let's see some code of this step by step, so you can understand better. And if you still have question, you can ask in the comments. Okay. So now I can see, first, I am using include IO stream using namespace. So this is the boilerplate code that we've seen so far so many times. Like IO stream is used for input output headers, and using namespace std is used for string properties. Now you can see I'm again adding a node, stuck node, structure node, and then I'm adding the value int data and node star to the next. So it will point to the next node. After that, you can see I'm adding the constructor, where the node int v will be the value that goes to the data.v when it's initialized, and the next will be the null ptr. Okay. So this is the node we've seen in the linked list, and stacks and queues and many data structure we see in this basic node. It is there are little bit changes, like in the tree we have left and right and that like that, but still the node was in every data structure except arrays. So now here you can see the another structure, which is the edge. Edge will have the source and destination, uh, respectively, like int src source and destination dest. Okay. After that, I am again adding the constructor here. That will be int, and then int s will be the source value, and int d will be the destination value that I will assign to the source dot s source, and I will assign to the source and then after that I am using an add function. So I am adding a node to the edge. So basically, I'm using the adjacent list here, which the pointer has to, and then I'm adding the edge.e will be the edge. So first I'm creating a new node, will be the new node with the e dot destination file, or edge, the edge have the in e means edge destination file. Okay, after that I'm assigning the next pointer the previous node, previous edge to the next value, next pointer, and then I am finally assigning the adjacent list to the n value. So then now here we get here we will add the new edge to the graph. After that, I know this is very complex and very weird. You can try to make sense by trying it yourself. Try it a couple of times, because I tried a lot of times and get a lot of bugs. That's why I use that. I know it's very complex, so please try it on your own. Okay, so after that I didn't add many other function like remove, print, or other, because it is very complex if I try to understand, try to make to understand you this code. So that's why I make it very simple and very short as possible, so you can try it yourself and try to add or remove function by yourself. Okay, so I know you can do it, so yeah, try it please. And after that you can see I am adding the end main function, where I am first assigning the value will be the 4. So there will be the 4 nodes in a graph. Then I am assigning the list will be that will be the pointers, and then I am, for example, using a loop to assign every value to the null ptr. So this you after that I simply adding some edges to the graph. For example, an edge E1, 2, I'm adding these values that I created here. Okay, so I'm now adding these values to here, all here, because I use loop to create all the values, and then I use these in this edges. So I'm adding like in edge one I'm adding 1, 2, in edge 2 I'm adding 1, 3, in edge 3, and it goes so on and so on. Okay, after that I'm using loop to print all the values, and after that you can see the values here. Here you can see these are the values. I know the code is little bit weird and complex, but I try to make it as simple as possible. Okay, so yeah, this was today's video. In the next video, I will talk about hashing and hash tables. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching this video. I will provide the code in the description so you can try it yourself and try to understand. So yeah, best of luck for that. Bye.